This
right?
conference will now be recorded.
So let me open that. So yeah, this is what the yesterday example we have seen. Any doubts around this, guys? Are you comfortable with this loop, while loop? So what you do is, right, you take a pen and paper, okay, and do the analysis. How to do the analysis? Say for example, okay, uh, like you take the initial variable, counter variable, okay. This is one counter variable. Then you take the condition, okay, take the condition, and then okay, so then increment or decrement operator, whatever it is. So what is the condition, guys? The condition is a generic condition, right? So counter less than, so 108, less than or equal to 108, okay. So how the flow goes, first first it will start with the counter 1, right? That's what we are doing here, right? Counter value is what, initially 1. This is a variable, counter is a variable. Okay, you can keep that as I equal to I plus 1, j equal to j plus 1, whatever you want. That is a variable, just a name. You can take any value here, just for make sense. I just given the name as what, 1. I gave the name as counter, okay. So that can be a counter, that can be I or anything, okay. So it doesn't matter. Just okay, it is just a tracker, that's it, to keep count of it, okay, how many times it is printed, just to keep track of that. So we have that uh, variable, okay. So counter or I. So now in this case it is what, I, okay, I value. So initially I value is what, 1. So what is the condition here? Instead of counter, I have taken as what, I less than or equal to 108. So now first it will verify the condition, 1 less than or equal to 108. True or not? This is yes or no. 1 is less than or equal to 108. Yes, it is less than 108, right? So this is less than 108. This condition is equivalent to what, guys? Either 1 less than or equal to 108, or 1 equal to 108. This is the combination of these two expressions, right? So we combinedly we can say, we can write like this, less than or equal to 1 less than or equal to 108, right? So either this is true or this is true, it will execute, it will continue further, okay. So meaning that if the condition is true, it will get inside and execute the body. What is the body here? While loop body. This is what called while loop body, right? So this is loop body. This is what loop body. So what it has in the loop body, it is going to print this one, Govinda statement, and the I value. I value is what, 1, okay. So now it is executed this line, then it is going to increase its value by 1. What is the I value, is 1. Now 1 plus 1, it is going to do 1 plus 1, and that 1 plus 1 becomes 2. The 2 again placing back to the I value. Now meaning what, I value becomes, after this line, I value becomes what, 2. I value is 2. What will happen again? So now it goes back, because this is while loop, right? That is what the looping behavior is. It will keep repeating this. Go back. It will execute this statement. Again it will go back. And it verifies the set. Again it will execute the body. Again it will go back, checks the condition, executes it. Okay, that is the behavior of while loop. If you go with the if condition, that executes only once. That is only one time. If the condition is satisfied, it will execute the if body. That's it. But while loop is not like that. It's going back and execute the same code again. It will go back and execute the same code again and again continuously. Okay. So what will happen here? So after executing this, so it goes back, and now it goes back and check the condition. So I value is what now, 2. 2 less than or equal to 108. Yes, this will satisfy, right? This will satisfy. As the condition is satisfied, what will happen? It will execute this print statement. this will execute the print statement, right? So after that, printing second time, again I value is going to change. How? By incrementing 1. What is the I value now? I value is 2, right? I value is 2. Now 2 plus 1 becomes 3. 2 plus 1 becomes 3. So I value is what now? It becomes 3. So again, execution is done, right? This execution is done. Again, it will go back to the condition, right? What is the condition now? I less than or equal to 108. What is the I value? 3. Now the condition will be what? 3 less than or equal to 108. 3 less than or equal to 108. So 3 less than or equal to 108. Yes, true. As the condition is true, then again it will execute these statements. It will print as Govinda Govinda and I value is 3. Now again I value is going to increment. I value becomes what now? I value already I have 3 now, the latest I value. Now it becomes what? 4. I value is 4. So again it will go for the check. It goes back and verifies the condition. So condition is true. As the condition is true, again it will go back, okay, and increment the value and go back and it looks for the fifth iteration. Likewise, it will continue. It will keep doing it. It will keep doing it. Okay, it will keep doing it until what? Until 108. Okay, so now I value is 108. Okay, I value is 108. So here 108 less than or equal to 108. So here, if you look at, so this is a combination, right? Less than or equal to when I say as this. So in this case, 108 less than 108 or 108 equal to 108. So in this case, this is going to become true. This will become false, but this will become true as it is a OR condition. So if any one of them is true, either less than or equal to any one of them true, then the result will be true. So 108 case also it is going to satisfy and it will execute, right? So it will print 108th round. It will print 108th round and then again it will increase I value. So now I value becomes what? 108 plus 1, so 109. Now what will happen? 109 less than or equal to 108. So meaning what? So 108 less than 109, right? 109 less than 108 or 109 equal to 108. If you look at this, is 109 lesser than 108? No. So this returns evaluates to false. Is 109 and 108 both are same? Both are equal? No. This is also evaluated to false. So false or false. Both are false only. So the result will be what? False. So now this condition will result to false. As the condition is false, it will not come inside. It will simply break the loop and it will come out of the execution. It will come out of the loop now. Now it doesn't go for any further routes. It will come out of that and it will print it. Okay, it will come out of it, and if you have any other statement, then it will. Okay, to understand this, guys. If anybody has any other confusions, it must be clarified. Okay. So you take a pen and paper and you do the analysis in this way, so that will be like, understandable. You can analyze step by step expression what is happening. Okay, so this is one way. The other way is, right, so you just go with the debugging. Okay, just keep a debug point here and debug it. Run debug. So now it is stopped here, right? Now go by. It is printing. Okay, it is printing. If you see the console here, it is printed Govinda Govinda 1. First iteration is done. Now if you see, what is the I value? 1. Okay, now I value becomes what? 2. Now I value becomes 2. So again it evaluates this condition, 2 less than or equal to 108. Now again it is printing it. Okay, so I plus 1. Now it becomes I value becomes what? 3. Here you can observe, here you can see how the value is changing in the bottom variable section. Hope you can see my cursor. Okay, likewise, so it will keep repeating it. Yes, it will keep repeating it like this. It will keep repeating it. How many times it will repeat? 108 times. Okay, so that's what. As I have breakpoint, it's stopping here. I'll remove it and I'll move on. Okay, so here if I click on this, it will execute completely. So it's going to print 108 times, and after 108, so it is going to break the loop and come out of the loop, and it will print it done. So if it is comfortable, it is fine with everyone. And I gave 2 assignments, right? So did you try this? Do you guys try this? Yeah, so in this bar, right, we have bar. Just click on that. That's it. You just can would be able to put the breakpoint. Just click on it. Single click wherever you want in the line. Just click on that. That's it. Okay. So just click on that bubble. Okay, you did that. Okay, excellent. Ping me here in the chat box if you are done. Okay. So I gave 2 assignments. Print only even numbers from 1 to 100, and print all the multiples of 3, multiples of 1 to 5 from 1 to 100. Okay, so this is straightforward thing, right? Again, so 1 to 100, so same thing, right? So I have to begin from 1. So as I said, 1 to 100, my condition will be what? I less than or equal to 100, right? Because I wanted to check between 1 to 100. So here I wanted to print only even numbers. What is the logic for finding the even numbers? We know already. So if I value mod 2 equal to 0, so then I can say that is even number. That's even number. Okay. I is okay. I is even number. That's all right. So you have to increase the count. I equal to I plus 1. Ensure that this is not part of if condition. This is out of the if condition. This is parallel to if. Indentation is very important. If you give wrong indentation, the whole logic goes wrong. Okay, so yeah, now what it will print? It is just going to print what? It is just going to print only the even numbers. For non-even numbers, I'm not printing it. It simply doesn't do anything. So if you look at, so here you can see that 72, 74, 76 like that, 100. Starting from what? Starting from 2. 2 is even number, 4 is even number, 6 is even number, like that. Okay. So that's a simple logic, guys. That's a simple logic. And the other program what I asked is just multiples of 5 or multiples of 5. 3 and 5. It's just about like, you have to apply the same logic here. What is going to change here is, so here even number is like all the even numbers are multiples of 2. Now I am saying multiple of 3 means just keep 3 here, and I wanted to print both, not everything else. So I mod 5 is equal to 0. If the number is multiple of 3 and the number is multiple of 5, then print it. So what is the operator here? So and is the operator. Okay. So and is the operator, logical and. So this is I is okay. Is multiple of 3 and also 5. Okay, that's all. So what else we have to do? Simple, right? Okay, see that 15 is multiples of 3 and 5. So 3 5s are 15, 5 3s are 15. So 30, 3 10s are 30, 5 6 are 30, 45, 60, 75, 90. These are the only numbers that that are multiples of both 3 and 5. Can be multiple by both 3 and 5. That's all. Simple logics. These are the 2 things I have asked you to write. I'm not sure how many of you done. If you did not get the logic or if you got confused, okay, just practice this, guys. Okay, just understand this. Okay, right. All right. So iterative statements. We just understand about the iterative statements. Okay, and in that while loop. So the next loop is for loop, guys. We have another loop called for loop. Okay, for loop example. Okay, so in case of while loop, we have taken like initialization, condition and increment or decrement operator. Now in the case of for loop, we are going to avoid all this stuff. It is something like that, okay. It is something like that. If I know that, so I have assume that you have a bag with you, okay. You have a bag with you or a box with you, okay. You have a bag or a box. Now I asked you, okay, boss, please uh, move everything or pull out everything, every item that we have in the bag. So okay, I have a bag of books, or I have a bag of pencils, or my bag is having one laptop, charger, pen drive, okay, data card. So I have some amount, some things I have in my bag. So what I am saying, right? So um, remove everything from the bag, make the bag empty. What is the requirement? Just make the bag empty, meaning what? Remove all the items from the bag, remove all the items from the bag. So that is what, in that case, do you really need to know that how many items are there in the bag? Yes, you have to interact, you have to be interactive, understanding that point. Do you really wanted to know how many items are there in the bag to fulfill this requirement? No, right? What you have to do is you have to simply keep out everything. So you just open the bag and move out the laptop, move out the charger, move out the data card, move out the other things, whatever you have. So in that case, do you really need the counter? Do you really need to count how many things are there? No, right? Yes, are you able to hear me? I don't see any response. Ping me in the chat box. When you say no, you can't hear me. Okay. So Rachna, can you hear me? Rachna, are you there? Okay. Yes, sir, you're audible. Okay. Thanks, Deepak. Okay. Okay. So now what I'm saying here, no? So assume that there is a bag. Okay. There is a bag. There is a bag, and I'm asking you to remove everything from the bag. All the items, remove all the items from the bag. In that case, do you need to know how many items are there in the bag? You got my question? There is a box or there is a bag. Now I told you, like, okay, vacate, remove or pull out all the items from the bag. In that case, do you need to know how many items are there in the bag? Not really, right? Just what you do, you simply open the bag and you will remove all the items from the bag. You'll be moving out one by one, right? So you don't have to check for anything. Only you have to check is like how many items are there in the bag. You have to remove out everything. You have to move out everything from the bag. That's all. Okay. So you are staying in the room and your owner asks you to vacate. What do you do? So whatever the items that belongs to you, everything you are going to moving out. So you don't have to count. Okay, how many items you have? Just you will be moving out, right? You understand the things here. But if you see the other scenario, like whatever the other example we have seen, guys, don't think the technical thing. Don't go to the technical. So you are thinking that I dot remove and all. No, don't worry about that. Don't think about that. The general, I'm asking as a layman, meaning that just as a student or as a just a common man, think in the common man perspective. So there is a person who doesn't know, like he is not educated person. Okay, so I have asked him, like, okay, vacate that room. What he will do? He will come and he will move out everything, right? So he doesn't actually need to count it, how many items are there and how many items he is moving out. So what I have asked him, right? So pack everything and move out. So he doesn't need a counter there. The same example, if you look at the temple example, how many rounds you are going to do 108 rounds. In that case, you have to keep track of that counter. Do you understand the difference? Do you understand the difference in both the cases? Okay, in one case you need a counter because you have to know how many times I have to do it, and out of it how many times I have done already, and still I will check the condition. I will keep doing it till I reach my count. But in this example, so I don't really need to worry about my count, how many things I have moved out from the bag and how many left out. I don't have to worry anything. So in this case, I'm going to do whatever the logic I wanted to do. So for every item, so here item in the for every item in the list or group of things, that is a bag, okay, bag or a box or any container, okay, any container has group of things. Okay, so for everything I'm going to do this. So do the activity, whatever activity you wanted to do for every item. So for example, you have a list of you have a group of pencils. Okay, you have a group of pencils in your bag. Now I have asked you, okay, so sharpen all the pencils. Okay, so you, what do you do then? So we'll take one pencil, you will do sharpen that using sharpener. Then again you will pull out one more pencil, you will do that activity, and again you will pull out one more pencil, you will do that activity till what? Till you do it all the items, for all the items that you have in the bag. Right, that's what you are going to do the activity. Simple stuff. The syntax is very straightforward, guys. The syntax is very straightforward. Okay, so for, okay, for every item, or for every element in the list, okay, elements or list of things, okay, space, this is the body, loop body. That's very simple and very straightforward. Okay, any doubts around this, guys? I mean concept, do you understand the concept when I have to use the for loop instead of while loop? When you really don't have to worry about the count and you have to do it for all the existing item, and you go with for loop, right? So I am taking for, say for example, I have a list of elements. Okay, so here I have a list of elements. Okay, say L symbol. Okay, so this we know what type it is, guys. This is the list type, right? So here I am defining 1 2 3 4 5 elements. Okay, 5 elements I have. 5 elements I have. Now what I wanted to do is I just wanted to print every element. That's what my logic. So what I will take is for every. So here when I say item, that can be any name. You can give any arbitrary name here. Okay, it's just a variable here. Okay, it's just a variable for every item. For every item in the list. List variable is what here? What I wanted to print is item. Okay, that's a simple, very simple logic, very simple loop. Now what will happen? So item is my variable. Okay, item is my variable. Okay, so I am iterating through the list. This is what my box. This is what my bag. My bag has 5 elements, 5 numbers. My bag has 5 numbers. First, I will pick one number. I will pick the first one into the item. Now item, what value I have in item? 1. So that I am printing it. Okay, then I will pick second into my item, second value into item. What I am doing with that, I am just printing it. Okay, next 3 I will be picking up into item. What I do with, I am just printing that item. Then 4 will be picking it up, so I print that item. Then 5 will be picking up into item, variable item. So I'm using that item to print it. Understand, guys? Yes, Rajeshwari, you can place any variable instead of item. Okay. So for every item in the group, I am doing it. I just taken the name as item. So instead of that, you take it as a number because I have numbers in my list. So you keep the name as number because my list is having what? Numbers or integers. You give any arbitrary name. So it is going to print all the numbers. It's very simple. Okay, so here this can be anything. So maybe that can be a list of students, list of products, list of items, list of anything. For every item, I'm going to do this. This is what my logic. So here you can do whatever you wanted to do. Say in the earlier example, I wanted to print, okay, I wanted to print only even numbers from 1 to 100. Take this logic. So how can I do this using for loop? So for every number in the, so here I have to define a list from 1 to 100, right? I have to define a list from 1 to 100. So how can I do that? So here I can initialize my function using a range. I have a range function, right? If I say range of 100, it is going to give me 100 numbers, right? It is going to give me 100 numbers. So instead of that, directly I can give the number range here. So 1 comma 1 at 1. So we already discussed about this range function. Do you guys remember or forgot? So now what I wanted to do is, if it is only even number that I wanted to print it, just keep the logic. If number mod 2 equal to 0, then only you print it, otherwise don't print it. One, one line indentation, one tab space indentation. Okay, this line belongs to if condition, meaning that when if it is divisible by 2, nothing but multiple of 2, then only I'm printing it. Otherwise, I'm not printing it. Otherwise, I'm not printing it, right? So right click and say that. So it is printing all the numbers or not? So it is printing only, it has to print only the even numbers from where? From here. If you look at, so first loop I have printed 5 numbers. Now let me have a separation here so that we'll understand the difference. So here it started from 2 or not? 2, 4, 6, 8, 12. The same thing, right? The same output of what we achieved using while loop. Okay. In case of while loop, you have to take the initialization, you have to apply the condition, okay, you have to increment the counter value. These are the 3 extra steps that you have to do for while case. Okay, so this you have to print, you have to take all these 3 extra things in case of while loop. But if you go to for loop, you don't have to worry about all the other stuff. So focus on your logic. That's it. You just focus on your logic. The additional incremental thing and all, everything will be taken care internally. You just focus on your logic. That's it. This is what my logic. And for every number in this given list, yeah, I wanted to do it. Okay. So when you have a group of things, or list of things to iterate through them, and while iterating, you have to perform some activity, you have to perform some logic, then prefer for loop. Okay, Vijay Kumar. Okay, so the while loop is we need to have a tracker by ourselves. While loop, in case of while loop, we have to keep track of it. So the counter value. So did I reach my target or not? How many elements are there? How many elements are there? So I need to keep it. I need to keep track of it. I need to keep track of it. That's the problem. Okay, that's the problem in the sense that's the additional thing that we have to take care. And we have to think about the condition, right? We have to think about the increment operator. In case of for loop, we don't have to do all these things. Okay, it will take care. So the same logic, if I wanted to do it using while loop, this one printing file. So what I had to do is, so I had to print while, okay, my counter variable I, less than or equal. How many elements I have total? 5 elements. So 5, print the element. That is what I, okay. So now initial counter is equal to 1. Okay, counter how many items are there? 5. So if you know, if you, I have to print what? These are list elements, right? So here, what should I do? I have to find out a way to access that. So list of I. Again, we should know the way how to access the list elements, list of I. This is how we have to write the logic. So we have to implement it. Do you see? Do you understand the complexity? So this is what I had to do for while loop. The same thing can be achieved using simple. This is what the logic to print all the list numbers. See that, see the difference. Okay, you need a initialization, you need a condition, you need an increment operator. So this is the actual logic, correct? So all other things are extra. If you go to the for loop, it is simple that you have to just focus for here any name you can give for every number, that just a variable name to track it, to track each number. So 1 2 3 are going to sit inside this variable, right? That's how it works. Okay, so yes, so here actually we have to give the limit, so that upper boundary basically how many things you have to do. So as you know the list, so you can always, instead of giving like this, you can take length of, we have a function called length function, you can give length of it. So this length will be written 5, so that is going to replace execution length of it. So this is how you have to do it. Yes, Ahlad, you can do that. You want to count the number of items which are available in output, then can we use a counter and all type of program? Yes, you can use, but anyhow, we have a function here, length function. You can always just use this function to count how many things are there inside. So in for loop, we don't, you have to just specify your bag. You have to specify your about data structure. You have to specify about your collection, nothing but list. That can be a list of data, that can be a set of data, that can be a tuple of data. You remember we discussed about the data types, list, set, tuple, and all. Okay, so it's all about that. All right, guys. So comfortable? Are any doubts? Do you have any doubts? Do you understand the difference? This for loop is very straightforward. Okay. Yes, Vijay. So we don't have to worry about the condition, something like this. That's what example I told you. So if you have a room or a bag of items and you wanted to move out everything, so you don't need a counter over there. So for so you will just look for the room and you will pull out each item, each and every item. But if you wanted to do a number of rounds in the temple, you need a counter. So that's all. Depends on the requirement. We use either while loop or for loop. Length function, why I have used, so how many elements I have? 5. Okay. So here, as it is a simple 5 elements, I know that I will count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I will give the 5. But what is the case if I have my number of elements are more, something like this? Okay, every time, so you would be counting it, and so you would be counting it, and you will be defining it here. That's complex, right? So if I do length of L, it automatically knows how many elements are there. So I don't have to count it. It will give me, the length function gives me how many elements are there in my list. How many elements are there in my list? That is going to give automatically. You understand? Now see that my list is have so many elements, right? My list has so many elements, right? How many elements I have? So all the elements I wanted to access it. Okay, so if I say length of L, it is going to, how many elements are there, that it is going to print. So here print length of, you say L. So here you can see how many elements are size of that list. You can see size of the list. Here you can see the size of list. So you don't have to count manually. See that? Okay. So size of list is 42. Total 42 elements are there. That's what it is going to give. Okay. Index starts from 0 always, guys. Okay. And you have to, as you are starting from 0, so you should mention less than. So that's how you can print all the elements. Okay, 42 elements. Otherwise, what if I wanted to give 42 here? So how you are going to do? How you know its size is 42? Then you have to count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like this. You have to do it. You have to count manually. So instead of counting it manually, yes, we can use that function. What is the function? Length of L. Understand? Okay, so Nihar, what you are trying to do? Why you are not getting output? Okay, let me take your program. What you are doing here? Okay, guys. So Nihar is facing some problem. He's not getting output. Why? What you are doing here? Enter a number. Okay, you are typecasting into A. You are taking another number B. Now you are checking like A less than B. While A less than B, you are just printing A mod 2 equal to 0. Then you are printing it. Where is the counter, guys? Where is the counter? Where you are starting and where? What you are trying to do here? This is wrong, right? Where is the counter? And this condition, like what are A and B's, and what you are, which one you are taking as a counter? Okay, counter is what? A is your counter, is it? Okay, so then you have to increase it, right? Then your counter, you have to increase it after one iteration is over. You have to increase it like this. Okay, so like this you have to. So there is a indentation problem, guys. Okay, so enter. Give one tab space. Should be one tab space. One tab space. Okay, and this is also like one tab space. This is what indentation is important. Okay, now B is the limit. In his case, B is the limit. Okay, okay. So let me run this. It is asking enter the number. So I'm taking the number as 1. Enter the number. 10 is my limit. Now it will print 2, 4, 6, 8, and that's it. So check what you are missing, Nihar. Verify what are you missing here. Okay, you have to increase. That's what this is unnecessary confusion. Like so, always give the names as something like so initial counter. So this for this you don't have to read it from the keyboard because that starts from 1 always. So don't give that option to the user. Okay, so you have to make it your A value fixed. So you don't have to read that from keyboard. A is equal to 1. You directly take that. That's it. And this will be your number, your limit or what, limit or whatever you call it as limit. And here it should be what your A value. Yeah. So this makes sense. It's readable also. If someone is reading your code, they will understand easily. Okay. So without having confusion. Right. So under the limit, so 20 I'm entering or 30 I'm entering. So now it is going to print all the numbers in between 2 to 30. Okay, so you followed the others, hoping that you followed. Okay, for loop we have discussed about the for loop and we have discussed about the while loop. Okay, these two are we have iterative statements, guys. Then we have transfer statements. Okay, transfer statement we have transfer statements, guys. Break, continue, and pass. Okay. Okay, so something like when these are have break and continue will be used. Okay, break and continue will be used. Okay, break so the right place to use break and continue inside the iterative statements. So if you don't have a while loop or a for loop and you are trying to use this break and continue, that will be wrong. Okay, you are not allowed to use that. You are not allowed to use that. How to do it, guys? How to do it? So inside the loop you need to do it. Okay, so let's take some example and let us understand it. Okay, let's take an example. Okay, I wanted to, okay, I wanted to break. Okay, say for example I have a list of elements, guys. Okay, 12, 3, 4, 10, okay, 11, 34, 55, some numbers, random numbers. Okay, some random numbers. These are like say student, uh, okay, student list or maybe student IDs or something. Okay, so take the list anything, say student IDs. Okay, ID list. Now I wanted to find out, I wanted to give a search functionality. Okay, so I wanted to give a search functionality. So I wanted to search for something. This list is available or not. So I'm asking the user to enter the student ID to search. Okay, now user enters a number, right? So that I need to convert into integer. This is what search number. Okay, searching ID. So now, so what I do is, okay, what I do is for every number in the ID list, okay, I'm going to do this logic. So I'm going through each and every item, and I'm going to each and every item, and I will check if number is equal my search ID. Then I will say, okay, then I will say, okay, number ID is found. ID is found. Understand, guys? Understand? Okay. See a simple example. See the simple example, and so enter the student ID 20. So 20 is not available, so it doesn't say anything. That's the bug. Okay. Now let me enter some other number. So 10 I'm entering. So ID is found. It is saying ID is found. Okay. Now see that. So I am having a breakpoint inside this, and I'm debugging now. Okay. Now I'm debugging. Pay attention, guys, please. Pay attention. So enter the student ID to search. Enter the student ID to search. I am entering 10, the same 10. Now what will happen? First it is C. If you know the debugging, you will understand the program well. Okay. So what is the number now? What is the search ID I have entered? 10. Okay, I have 10 here. Then so number, what value I'm getting into number? First value. What is that? 12. So my number is holding 12. My number is holding 12. So 12 is equal to 10. True or false? False, right? So it will move on to the next number. So now it will take the next number. Next number is what? 3. So now number is 3. The 3 is equal to 10. Such ID is what? 10. 3 equal to 10. False, right? So it will move on to the next one. So next value is what? Next value is 4. This one that will pick. So 4 equal to 10. No, it will go to the next number and it will pick 10. So now 10 is equal to 10. So true or false? Now it is saying that yes, we got the number. We got the number. ID is 4. All right. Now, so whatever I'm looking for is I already got it, right? Again, why should allow this to go further? It's something like a bullshit, a stupid thing, right? So what I am looking for, I already found it. Still, are you going to look further? So you are looking for an address. You are searching for an address. Okay, in your tongue. Okay. So you entered into a lane. You entered into a lane, and as the first house or second house, you found the address. Okay, the second house is the one that you are looking for. You got the address, right? Still, are you continue for the third house, fourth house, fifth house? Still, you wanted to search? That's a stupid thing or not? So as you are whatever you are looking for is already you found it. Then why do you want to continue further? It's a waste of thing, right? So imagine here I have only 10 elements. So 10 iterations it will go. Assume the scenario where your list is having 1 lakh elements, 1 lakh of students, maybe like state wise 10th class student IDs. How many? There will be lakhs of students, right? So as imagine that India wide, how many SSC students? Okay, so just imagine. So then you are searching for a particular student ID. So you got the student ID in the 10th place or 20th place. So even though you found it, you still wanted to continue for that lakhs of student verifications not required, right? So as soon as I found my student, so I don't have to continue anymore. I do not have to continue anymore. That is where so I would want to break. That is where I wanted to apply a break. Now what I'm doing here, I'm just keeping a break. But you break the loop. Now this break statement is going to break this loop. This is going to break the loop. Understanding, guys? Understanding or not? So let me show you debug and let me show you. Enter the number to search 10. Okay. First 12 is equal to 10. No. Then 3 equal to no. 4 equal to 12, no. Then 10 equal to 10, yes. It will get inside and it is going to break. Now it will program will quit. That's it. So it will come out of it. Done. Job is done. That's it. It will not proceed further. But if I don't have break, it keep doing it for all the elements. How many elements are there in the list? It's going to do that. Okay, hoping that you understand about the break. So the break is allowed only in the loops. It can be either for loop or while loop. That can be either for loop or while loop. Okay, so that's what about the break. In a similar way, okay, in a similar way, you can use continue statement also. So continue is something like this. So okay, okay, something like this. So Kapil, that's not the relevant question here. How to add an ID into the list? Okay, we will talk. We'll discuss that during the data structures concept. Okay, we'll be talking about the list in detail. How to add the element, how to remove the elements, how to delete it. So we'll play with the list. We have different functions. We will use that. Anyhow, Rajeshwari answered you. Okay, you can use the append function if you are comfortable with the using the functions under. Yes, you can use that append function to add it. But anyhow, we'll discuss in detail during the collections discussion. Okay, come back to this. So break. Now I have something called continue, right? So continue in the sense kind of assume that I have a logic of 10 lines of code. Okay, I have a 10 lines of code. Okay, I have 10 lines of code. So here still I have some code. Okay, so lines of code, 10 lines. See, assume that further 10 lines of code I have. Okay, 10 lines of code. Or let me give some example. Okay, so write a program, write a program to find to find to find the given number is find the given number is odd number and if it is odd number find that it is also a prime number or not. prime number or not. Do you understand the question? Okay, I have given 3. So 3 is a odd number or not? We know that 3 is an odd number. If it is 3 is odd number, then find out whether it is a prime number or not. That's what the logic you have to do it. I have 4. So this is a even number. Okay, as it is even number, I don't have to do any further logic, right? Finding a prime number or not. That's what the program. In that case, okay, so how many numbers you wanted to take? Okay, I will take from 1 to 100. So for every number in the range of 1, 100 or 101, okay, what I wanted to do is if number is number mod 2 is equal to 0. Okay, then what I'll do here, print, okay, okay, it's even number. Okay, print even number. So here normally I will continue like finding. I'll have the logic to find the prime number here. I'll have logic to find the prime number here. So prime number logic is what? So I'm just writing it, guys. Maybe I'll explain this in tomorrow, the logic for prime number. But just I'm going to, okay, I'm going to write the logic for that. Okay, for again. So for I'll take a while loop here. Okay. And starting from I equal to 1. Okay. I less than number. I less than or equal to number. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to do if I mod, okay, I mod, sorry, number mod I is equal to 0, then I'm going to increase the counter. Okay, count is equal to 0. So I'm going to increase my counter. So I will do this for while loop. After while loop, I will check my counter is equal to 2, is equal to 2. Then I'll say print number is prime number. I'll say number is prime number. So this is what my logic. Okay. So now I have used a while loop inside for loop. I have used if condition inside while condition. Here I have if condition. Multiple things I have. I have multiple things. Okay, just first let me take only 10 numbers. Okay, let me take only 10 numbers and let me show you. Okay, run it. This is the start. What happened? Oh, for every number, say even number. So what's happening? Transfer statement running. Why it is halting, guys? Something is wrong. What is that? So after that, so number range of 1, 100. So it's not coming here, guys. And time numbers is printed, but from there it got stuck. So somewhere this is wrong. Okay, somehow it is getting wrong. Let me move this to a new program. Continue example. So just you can debug and to know what's wrong here. So it's starting, it's finding the numbers it is printed. Okay, then notice what's happening here. Something is wrong. Am I incrementing this while loop? Counter value, I value, where I'm incrementing, that is the problem, guys. So here I equal to 1, counter is 0, I less than or equal to number, this one. So while loop, where I have to increase the I value. So I is equal to I plus 1. But anyhow, it has to, yes. Now you can see that. Okay. So here, look at this. Yes, even number it is saying. Then 2 is prime number, 3 is prime number, 5 is prime number, 7 is prime number. Right? It's saying that. So now understand the point here. Understand the continue logic. Okay. No Rizwan. So Rizwana. So it's just matter of we are not incrementing this I value. That's the problem. So here, anyhow, I'll explain you this program one by one, line by line tomorrow. Don't worry. So now here, so just imagine that. So suppose here my number is 4. My number is 4. When my number is 4, still it is going to continue this or not. So it says that 4 mod 2 equal to 0. 4 mod 2 equal to 0. It will say okay, it's even number. It will say even number, and still it will continue. It will try to find out whether 4 is a prime number or not. It go and execute all this logic, right? It will go and execute all this logic for even numbers also. So that is what I don't want to execute all this code. Pay attention, guys. I don't want to execute all this code when it is a even number, because as it is even number, I'm sure that it's not a prime. It's not going to be a prime number. So what I do here is I will just use continue. I'll just use continue. What this continue is going to do, so it's going to the next iteration. It will skip the remaining all the remaining code of the loop, and it will just go to the next line. It will just go to the next line. Okay. So why I have taken a big example, to know, like, we have more number of lines of code that's going to execute every time. See an example of now. So run debug it. Try to understand the concept, guys. That's important here. Okay. So it's finished. Huh? Okay. Let me debug it again. Okay. Now move on line by line. Number is 1. Okay. It's come. Number is 1. So it's not a even number. So it is going to calculate the logic for prime number or not. That is fine. And it will say like count is not 2, so it's not going to consider that as a prime number. So it goes, now number is 2. Okay, second number it has taken, and says that what, it's an even number, and as it is even number, I don't want to execute the remaining code. See here, from here it will go to the number 3. Next iteration it will go, it will not execute all these lines of code. See that now number becomes what, 3. Is it executed this code? No, right? So that's what I'm saying is continue statement is going to take the control for the next iteration by skipping all the remaining lines of code for that run, for that execution, for that iteration. That's what you have to understand here. So now it is going to execute this. let's say whether it's a prime number or not, then it will take the next number 4. So number 4, right? As a number 4, I know it's a even number, and as it is even number, I do not want to calculate all this logic. I do not want to execute this. So move to the next iteration. Next iteration is fifth iteration. So directly it is jumping to fifth iteration or not without executing all this. That's what the point I'm saying is. So is that clear, or any confusions you have? That's what the importance of continue. Okay, so now let me give you a simple basic example. If you are unable to understand this, let me keep a small example here. Okay, for every number in the range of 10, okay, print only, okay, only even numbers. Print only even numbers. Okay, otherwise I don't want to do anything. Okay, so if okay, so if it is even number, okay, number is even number, okay, print it, okay, print it, and even number. Also I have some other logic. What is the logic is, for all the numbers, I'm doing further logic here, maybe, okay, adding 10 value for everything. So number value is equal, I'm incrementing my number value by 10, some logic, some many logic. So I'm printing this number. I'm adding a number with 0, 0 plus 10 becomes 10, 1 plus 10 becomes 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. That is how it is printing. But I wanted to add this, I wanted to do this only for the even numbers, no, only for odd numbers. I wanted to write this logic, I wanted to execute this logic only for odd numbers, guys, not for even numbers. So then what I do is I'll just say continue, meaning that for if the number is even number, then it does this and it will continue without executing these two lines of code, without executing these two lines of code. See that now only it is executing 11, 13, 15, 17, 19. What about the 12, 14, 16? Because those are even numbers, and even numbers this logic is not executed, because I said, so as soon as it is even number, you continue to the next iteration. That's what continue helps. So continue is going to be used to skip the remaining lines of code in the loop and continue to the next iteration. This is also like quite a useful one, guys. Break and continue are more helpful while working with the loops. Okay, so these are helpful a lot while working with the loops. Okay, so anyhow, we'll see more, maybe more examples on these loops. Now we understand about almost all flow controls, guys. So now we will play with some examples. Okay, we'll play with some examples. There you will understand more. Even for today, maybe like you try to solve this problem. Print the series. This is what printing series. If you can do it on your own, just give it a try. I will anyhow, I'll explain you tomorrow. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like this is a pattern. So I wanted to print this pattern. Yes, I wanted to print this pattern. So write a program to print this pattern. Write a program to print this pattern. So this is assignment for tomorrow, guys. This is assignment for tomorrow. So please do it. So print series. I want you to print this. Okay. So I'll continue tomorrow. So any questions, guys? Any doubts? Hoping that you followed and you understood. Break and continue. For loop, while loop, you are good in that. Okay. Tomorrow is Saturday, right? So yes, Vijay. So we'll have to discuss about the collections. Maybe from Monday, I'm going to uh, I'm going to tell you the collections list, set, tuple, dictionary. So that may take 2 classes. Okay, 2 to 3 classes. Then I will discuss about I'll just introduce about the functions. Okay, I'll just introduce about the functions, and one day I'll talk about the strings. That's where I will wind up, man. Maybe next week. Okay, next Friday, I will close the sessions next Friday. Okay, so next Friday.